I'm Michael. I'm one of the teachers at Namaste in Royal Oak, Michigan. Today we're going to do a yin practice again. Hopefully you'll enjoy the last one we did. Today we're doing it from our home for purposes we all know, social distancing, and I think this is a good practice for that because this is the type of practice that helps you to turn inwards. It's the type of practice that helps you to slow down a little bit and to really think about what we're thinking about, what our mind is going through, what we feel is necessary to help us get through a trying time, right? So I'm in my little chalet, we call it, here at our house. Got a nice fire going, so maybe you can look at that instead of watching me, because we're all self-conscious about recording. Today you'll need a brick or a block if you have one, a bolster, which would be a pillow if you have one, and then you also need a blanket. And I like food references, so roll up like a cannoli, which will help. We'll use that in a few minutes. Let's just start by taking an easy seat, either on your blanket or block, on your knees, or if you want to come around and just find an easy seat. I'm going to invite you just to take a deep breath in through your nose, open the mouth and let it out, and close your eyes. I do use a timer for my classes, so that'll be what I'm looking at here while we're doing our class. But hopefully you'll learn in the end to keep your eyes nice and closed softly, just soften your eyes like you soften your mind. So let's close our eyes and maybe take another round of breath. Just a soft, subtle practice here. We're going to let our mind just slow down a little bit. Many of us are stuck at home, and so the mind at first can slow down, but then it starts to go in different directions. And our yoga practice teaches us chitravriti, the chatter of the mind, to let it come down and slow down a little bit. So set the tone for your practice. Set the breath for your practice. It could be any type of breath, really. You can use your Ujjayi breath. You can use your natural breath. Whatever works best for you. But let's take about a minute or so here of just some quietness and set the tone for this next 45, 50 minutes. Listen to the breath. Eliminate distractions. Set your intention. What do I need today? What can I bring to my thoughts to bring some joy, some peace to these different times that we're living in? How can I maintain this joy and peace as I might be struggling to figure out this temporary new life? How can I be the best person that I need to be even in these times of trials and tribulations? So our first posture, we're going to grab your bolster, turn yourself lengthwise on your mat, nice and slow, even with your eyes closed. And we're just going to move the flesh back, find some nice long legs. The legs here for caterpillar don't have to be straight and pointed. They can be soft in the knees. They can flare out. You can have some space between your legs, whatever works. I like to take my bolster and just kind of lay it in front of me. Draw the belly in a little bit. Take a breath in for length. And then just kind of forward fold. Resting your head or your forehead on your bolster. We're lengthening the back of our legs here. We're lengthening our lower spine. You'll find that maybe you're used to grabbing and trying to pull yourself into the posture. Let that go. Just let the body do its own work. If the bolster does get in your way, just take it to the side and bring the sides of your hands down to the legs. Allow the back to run. And find your breath. Again, practicing with our eyes closed. This is a really nice way of meditating throughout the entire practice. Yin is meant to be slow. It's meant to take our time. So Find the posture here and just breathe. Focus your thoughts, funnel your thoughts to a single pointed one. In the end, we come to stillness. It's okay to make an adjustment. It's okay to maybe lift the heart to come forward a little more. Make some space for the chin to tuck. Holding the postures for this amount of time is important to get into the deeper tissue, the fascial tissue. Just as we're trying to find our deeper thoughts here, letting the body come to stillness and to get into the deeper tissues will allow you to relax more, to unbind, to melt, find more space. Thoughts in. Draw your breath in for energy. And breathe out. Let the body become heavier. Let yourself come into the fold just a little more. Hold these postures for about 4 minutes, maybe 5. Closing your eyes. You might find your breath will get a little short, or maybe the attention comes away from the breath. The mind is wandering. Focus on the breath. Count your breath length. Count 3, 4, or 5 in, 3, 4, or 5 out. Maybe you're so relaxed you feel the chin, the bottom jaw coming forward from the top teeth. This is nice. Nice relax. Release of the jaw. Just a few more breaths here. Let's try to maintain this peaceful sense that we have by slowly inhaling ourselves up, coming to a nice seat just for a second. Breathe into the lower back. Crossing your ankles and rolling forward. And let's find tabletop posture just for a few rounds of cat-cow here to kind of loosen up the spine. Nice and close your eyes, nice and soft. Lift the chin, lift the sit bones. Exhale, round the spine. Touch that chin again. Inhale, press the fingertips. Maybe roll onto the fingertips. Then exhale, roll on the tops of your feet. Arch the back. And when you feel balanced and ready, move your hands to the left and take your right foot forward. We're going to come into your dragon. You have an option of keeping your left knee underneath your left hip and just bowing in. And this is where the pillow and the bolster will be helpful for us to kind of bow in, maybe hands first. And then work your way onto elbows or forearms. If you want to take it a little deeper, you can put your hands on the floor, slide your left leg back, heel toe your right foot out a little bit, create some space. Maybe start with your hands on the floor, and eventually maybe you work down onto your forearms, working into the right hip here. If you need some support, your bolster will go great right underneath your left hip at the top of your thigh. Come up a little bit for length on an inhale. Nice. And then allow yourself to bow in. Try and introduce the posture so that you can stay in that position for just a little longer than you expect. Going into your full expression right away can be a little too much in the beginning of the practice or the posture, so take your time. I like to say you don't park the car in the garage at 60 miles an hour. Once you've settled in, find your breath. Bring your thoughts back to that intention. This worthy intention. This thought is worthy. It's important. It defines who you are. A lot of times when we're in this posture, we seem to tip over to the left. Do we drop our hip down? And then it becomes very tense on the shoulders. Bring yourself back through center, or come onto that bolster or pillow and square your shoulders forward. Allow yourself to breathe into your hip. Find a little length in the back of your right leg. Open your hip, and then maybe on a deep exhale, just bow in. Just be mindful that the toes and the knees are pointed in the same direction, keeping everything nice and safe. One thing that I think about often in these times is hope. Hoping, of course, that these times will go by fast. Hoping that people will remember the importance of being human beings and caring about each other. Not always thinking about ourselves first. Hoping that all the people we love are going to be healthy and get through this. So maybe hope is your intention tonight. Don't be afraid to admit that might be too much to think about. Maybe you're just thinking about a song or the feeling a song brings you, or the idea of how music is healing. It heals the soul and the heart. All these are fine intentions. Yoga teaches us that deep concentration leads to deep meditation. We have to think about the intention first before we feel it. Coming to stillness is the best way to absorb both the thought and the feeling of what's happening to you right now, and what's happening to your loved ones right now. But the idea of hope, it's for everybody. Take about 4 or 5 more long, deep breaths in this nice posture. Breathe into your right hip. Instead of breathing through your mouth, your nose, which we're practicing mostly through our nose, try to imagine your breath moving in and out of the right hip. With your eyes closed, take a nice deep breath in, lift the upper body. Slide that right foot back. Maybe move your hips from side to side a little bit. Maybe extend your leg out behind you. Find some length here. Gaze over your left shoulder. Take a few breaths, and when you're ready, you'll step your left foot forward at your pace, at your time. Maybe move the weight back and forth just to find the hip. Experiment where the hip is at, how it feels today. And again, the first variation is your right knee underneath your right hip and use your bolster, come down. Advanced yogis might slide the knee back, lock that left foot out a little bit, and invite yourself down even further. So sometimes I like to start with my bolster in place, and sometimes I feel open enough that I can just get right into it without my bolster. Take a breath in. Again, invite yourself to close your eyes. Eliminate this idea of a sea of thoughts. Just one single ship on a flat pond of water. Find that breath. Allow your practice to unfold. Allow your thoughts to unfold. Allow the practice to be challenging if it is for you. Certain postures, even in yin, can be as challenging as a headstand or half moon, any of these. But we know our tools of the practice, the breath, calming of the thoughts, being present in the moment right now, being aware. Aware of not just what you see with your eyes, but what you see with your mind, your third eye. Now is the time we have to be aware. Not just what's happening to us, but happening to everybody around us. More than ever, we're in the same boat right now. More than ever, we have to understand what other people are going through. This challenging time that's happening to you right now might be the same type of stress somebody has every day, outside of what's happening to the events of today, but just it could be there every day, and it's hard for us to understand that. But if we become aware and we know that it's happening, we can show more compassion and kindness. Some subtle adjustments if you need to find the posture a little better. Find your breath. find the joy of being quiet. Find the solitude and peace that comes with quietness, stillness. Can you maintain this integrity of your intention? Can you maintain the integrity of your breath? Can you maintain this important thought, this intention again? Maybe about now you're coupling your breath with your intention and you're repeating it to yourself as you hold in your posture, as you hold in this dragon. Just a few more breaths. Just a few more moments. Take that breath in, bring the upper body up. Maybe lift the chin just for a breath. And as you exhale, step back. Hips in circles or hips side to side. Maybe extend your left leg out behind you. Take it out to the side, look over your right shoulder. Just moving organically for a couple breaths. And then you'll bring yourself around. We're going to bring the soles of our feet together. Nice. I like to rock a little bit, find my sit bones, take a breath in. Good. This might be it for you. Maybe just let the knees come out to the side and your soles of your feet, adjusting them, maybe coming a little bit closer if you need to, or a little further out for a butterfly here. Find that right position. Make sure the flesh is back. And maybe you stay upright here for a few breaths. But eventually you might come forward, take a breath in. Good. And as you draw the belly in, let the head become heavy. If you're binding your toes or your feet, release that bind. Releasing the binds, find more space, believe it or not, to walk your hands out, find some length. Big breath in. Maybe exhale again, just fold in. Find that space. Drawing the belly in a little bit creates a little bit more space for you as well. Keep finding that breath. Let yourself come a little closer to your heels. if you're lifting your head for these last few moments, just let it tuck. Let it fold in. And you'll feel an increase in your flexibility even in a single posture as you give it enough time. There might be a little discomfort as long as there's no pain. Discomfort is okay, pain is not. If you feel an event or a problem happening, come out of the posture a little bit until you feel it subside. Being present with this compression in the hips, the compression in the body is okay. Compression creates strength. We know we won't be here forever. We've never been to a yoga class where you've held a posture, one posture for the entire class, so we don't expect that to happen now. But a practice of impertinence, that it's only temporary. Really key thought for many of us right now. This too shall pass, right? This is temporary. We'll figure it out. Just as you're trying to figure out how your body moves, how to incorporate your breath, how to incorporate your intention, we figure it out, right? We're humans. It's part of the beauty of it all. So your hips might be feeling pretty nice now that we've done a second hip posture. Maybe you find, again, a little bit more space. Maybe you come up a little bit. Keep your shoulders away from your earlobes, and as you exhale again, coming forward a little bit more. See if you're struggling more and, oh, how far forward should I come? I don't look like I should, or I don't feel like I should. That's not the point. How far forward does your body allow you to go without pushing it, without damaging it, without injury? You come to the edge. We look over the edge of the Grand Canyon. We know one more step may not be the best, so same thing in this practice. Take it to the edge and stay and breathe and think. Take that breath in, nice and slow, come up nice and tall. Bring your hands behind you. Good. Bring the soles of your feet to the mat, bring your knees together and your feet apart, kind of this knock-kneed feeling now. In the last posture, we turn the hips out. In this posture, we're going to turn our hips in. So invite the right knee to come down to the floor. This might be it for you. This is a really nice posture to turn that right hip in. Nice. The rest of us might take our left foot and place it on top of the right foot and just give a little bit more pressure there. Not quite on the knee, but up on the thigh a little bit more. You can move it up if you need to. And you'll feel this part of your leg turning inward. This is your femur bone, turning inside of the pelvic bone. Nice. Leaning back can intensify a little bit if that feels good for you. If it doesn't, come back up. We won't hold this for very long. Let me set my timer. Let's hold this for about 2 minutes. Close your eyes, maybe the head comes back, or maybe the chin tucks. Whatever feels nicer. See what feels nice in the neck. Maybe it feels a little different practicing at home. Maybe you, like I have here, you have to shut the door so the dogs are in the other part of the house. And you set the tone of your space, bringing Buddha out, setting a fire, maybe burning a candle or your oils, just to help you get into that space, that mode. How can you find a way to be happy in these times? How can you find a way to feel important? How can you be generous in a time like right now where it's so odd and strange to feel almost hopeless or helpless? But we're not. We're not helpless. You can't be hopeless. You can't live in hope alone, but it's nice to have that. And once we find our self-strength, other people will see that. Maybe they draw from it, or maybe now you have the opportunity to help somebody else. Giving back is always a great way of finding hope, a great way of feeling better about yourself. And right now, this practice might be doing it, what you need to get you back there. So we'll uncross our legs. If your leg is on top of the other, invite the legs back through center. Just rock back and forth. Get the hips moving. And then we'll bring the knees back together again. And again, the wider the feet, the more intense it will be. So if it's too much for you, bring the feet together. But we're going to invite both knees over to your left. This might be it. You can chin to chest, head back, maybe chin to shoulder. Nice stretch in the neck. Taking it to the next level, bringing your right foot on top of your left thigh. Good. Feel nice and tall in your body. I like to think about my left hip. Is my exhale allowing my hip to feel heavy? Can I bring it closer to the floor? Your right knee does not have to be on the floor either. This is not necessary. It's just a little bit of weight on the thigh to help the hip open, help the femur bone turn internally. Close your eyes and find your breath. See where your mind is. If it's floating around, come back to your breath. See if that focuses and brings you back to your intention. About 4, 5, 6 more breaths here. Uncross your legs if it's there. Slowly bring the knee up. Oh, sometimes it feels like a 90-year-old man, but that's okay. That's just the change in energy. Moving your hips in directions that they're not used to. This is what yin does. It helps us to find different ways of opening the body than what we do in our normal day, at work, at home, sports. So now we're going to grab for our blanket, and we're going to grab for our bolster or your pillow. We're going to take our pillow, we're going to bring our right hip right to the pillow so our hip is still on the floor. Nice. We're going to adjust everything just so that we can come down and bring our body across our bolster, and your right arm's going to thread through straight forward from you. Bring the blanket that's rolled up underneath your neck. So we're doing this nice supported side bend here. So maybe you take a nice deep inhale, and we take that arm to the sky, and exhale, bring it over our head. Just let it kind of fall in place. Try not to collapse forward. Keep your heart opening just a little bit. You can bring your hand behind your back if that helps. But we're creating a right side bend here. Nice.
See where you can breathe and open up the right side of your body. I like my hand overhead.
Find your breath. I'm just going to set my clock here for a few minutes.
You can straighten your legs. This also creates a little bit more in the side bend. If that bothers your back, go ahead and bend your knees again. Lean back just a little bit more. Walk your fingertips over your head just a little bit more. Big breath in.
Just a few moments of quietness. If you really think about it, we really have enough. We're all fortunate to be able to do this practice at home. We have a place to do it at. We have the means to. Technology brings it to your home. If you really think about the people that just don't have those two things, we're really ahead of the game then if you think about it. So take these few moments for development of gratitude. How you can share that gratitude with those around you. Doesn't cost you anything at all. Really focus on the breath here for a few moments.
Take that breath in, bring the hand back down to your side. Slide the knees up. Roll forward a little bit, placing your hands on the floor to find your tabletop posture. Maybe you move the arm around a little bit, thread it through the other way. And my back will be to you this time, but let's take it to the other side. Bringing your left hip towards the bolster, get it right tucked up against there. Turn your body facing the opposite wall. Lay your left arm down in between the space between the bolster and your blanket. Let your head rest on the blanket. Make your positions. Do it with your knees bent first. And then maybe you inhale the arm up and over. Feels nice. Eventually, you can straighten your legs. You can do it in a minute or two if you want to, or if you're ready, you can do it now. Adjust your hips a little bit. Find that left side bend.
Opening up the side body, it's important. We spend a lot of focuses on forward folding and back bends, side bends. You know, we breeze by them quickly in our practice a lot of times. And so I remember when I first saw this posture years ago and I thought, oh, that's one I'm going to use a lot. It's very supportive. It opens up that meridian in the body on the side that we're always blocking with our arms. And so this helps to really get a nice opening going. Don't be afraid to admit it's uncomfortable. Some of the postures are uncomfortable. We have to let our body open. We hear people, oh, I can't do that practice. I'm not flexible enough. But it's the purpose of the practice is to become more flexible. Flexible body, flexible mind. You have to give it time. More moments. Be comfortable with the uncomfortable side of this. My first class, filming myself, it's pretty uncomfortable for me, but I'm learning. I forgot to smile through most of the class, so there you go, right? We live and learn. We don't win or lose, we win or learn. That's a new phrase for me too. We win or we learn. 3 more breaths. Take that breath in, bring your arm back over your head. Bend your knees. Invite yourself to turn over. Again, coming back to your table posture. Nice and slow. A nice calm thread here. Take a few rounds of cat-cow if that feels nice. Maybe just come back into your child's posture for a moment. And then just move your props to the side.
We're going to come down onto our forearms. Let's take a subtle back bend here, finding Sphinx posture, opening your heels as far apart as you need to. Maybe even bending the legs if it's more comfortable for you. Spiral the back of your thighs away from each other. So almost like not quite taking your heels apart, but creating some space between your thighs so that your tailbone can extend towards your heels. And then bring your shoulders and your elbows in the same plane. Plant your fingertips. Take an inhale and bring your chin to horizon. Close your eyes and find a couple breaths here. Loosen the lower back. If you're clenching your behind or you're really clenching your back muscles, come down just a little bit. Breathe enough so that you can feel your belly on your mat. Set the timer for about, let's do this for 2 minutes. 2 minutes. You can do it. For the last minute, if you want to come up into your seal posture, hands come further apart, press into the hands, straighten the arms a little bit, bring your chin back to horizon, soften the lower back. Try not to let the shoulders come up to the earlobes. Find some length in the mid-spine, draw the shoulder blades down, find your breath. Open that space between your thighs. Don't be afraid. If you went into this, it's too much. Come back down. Find your Sphinx again. Just a few more moments. Come down softly. Press your hands between your shoulders. Lift the body up. Coming through your table posture, bringing one hip down and swing your legs around. And softly coming onto our back. Our last posture, I always like to end in spinal twist. Bring your knees to your heart, move your hips around a little bit. Open your arms to a T, take a breath in, and as you exhale, let your knees float over to the right. Keep your gaze forward for a moment. Take a breath in, a longer breath in through your nose. And as you exhale through your nose, let your right shoulder and your left shoulder kiss the mat. Take another breath in. As you exhale through your nose, let your head just float to the left. Look towards your left palm. With your eyes closed, take a breath in, open the palms nice and big, spread the fingers. Fingertips from fingertips as far as they can be, and then exhale through your nose and relax the palm, relax the body. Hopefully during your practice today you found a way to rekindle the joy in your life, or that happiness, these thoughts of happiness.
It's kind thoughts of ourselves that we can extend to other people. Knowing that it doesn't have to be this bad all the time. Sure, we freak out a little bit and we can let our minds race. When we start getting that insecure feeling, it's because our mind is going to 30,000 different places. Stop. Even if you do this type of practice for a minute or 2 minutes in the day, because you don't have an hour to do this, it'll certainly bring you back down. It will help you ground yourself again, to find that peace. To grab onto that joy and not let that joy be taken from you. It's gotta be okay. It's gotta be okay. Take that breath in, you bring your gaze towards the ceiling first. On the next inhale, help the knees back through center. Press into the feet, readjust your hips a little bit, maybe to the right a little bit. Knees back up to the heart. As you exhale, float softly to the left. Open your arms a little wider to a T. Allow that right shoulder to come closer to the mat. Take a breath in. And use your exhale to turn your gaze to the right. Take your breath in, bring your gaze towards the ceiling. The next breath in, bring your knees back through center. Extend the feet to the corner of your mat. Keep your gaze towards the ceiling. Take a deep breath in through your nose. Open your mouth. Now we take some rest. Rest your thoughts. Rest your body. Calm your heart. And everything else will fall in place. Stay in your Shavasana as long as you need to. But as we like to close, maybe even just laying in your Shavasana and bring your hands to your forehead to remember kind thoughts. Your hands to your mouth to remember kind words. And your hands to your heart for abundant love. Oh, how we need that right now. We need your love. Have a strong heart, strong body, and strong thoughts. Namaste.